Hey y'all, Derek with the Food Boat. We are back here at the North Charleston Boat Show at the Convention Center, and we've got a guest that y'all have seen out here before. Everyone say hey to Fred Neuville. He's been out here before, and he is going to be showing us cooking up a flounder recipe. I'm not even going to try to say it, Fred, because I've butchered it a few times.
Niçoise. It just rolls off the tongue. That's why I call it niçoise, because not everybody can pronounce it and it sounds cool.
Yeah, it does. And I really wish I didn't butcher it. And,
his fish legs too.
But it was terrible. They were all getting mad at me when I was trying to pronounce that one too. But let me pull up the live stream so I can make sure audio and everything's good, and then we will get into it. Niçoise. Yeah, they're saying say it, Derek. Niçoise. Now that Fred said it, I think I can say it.
Niçoise.
All right, so what fish we got here today, Fred?
So we have a flounder, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to fillet one. But when you purchase your fish, there's a couple of things that you want to look for.
Okay.
First, you want to, if the fish has the head on, then you want to look at the eyes and the gills. The eyes need to be clear, and the gills need to be red. And there needs to be a slime to the gills. That shows how fresh it is. The next thing is if you purchase a fish that has no head, okay, you want to make sure it's firm and has no aroma, okay? If it has no aroma, then you know it's fresh, or it smells, this sounds kind of weird, but it smells clean. If you're purchasing a fillet, same thing is you want to check to make sure that the fish is firm, smell, make sure it smells clean and fresh, and firm to the touch, and nice color, okay, and not slimy. Now here you can tell that we have two different kinds of flounder. They're the same fish, all depends upon what they eat as to what color they come, right? So first what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fillet this big guy. Now you can choose to, I have two types of knives here.
You want to see it?
I have two types of knives. I have a fillet knife, okay, and I have a boning knife. Now, as you can tell, the fillet knife is a lot longer than the boning knife. I prefer to work with a shorter knife. Just it handles better for me, okay? So there's two ways you can fillet a flounder. You can fillet it this way, coming in towards the backbone, okay? Or you can go down the backbone and fillet out. I prefer to use the backbone as a guideline. So I find it right here, come straight down, just like that, okay? And then you're just gonna fillet it. You're using the bones as a guideline. Just like that, okay? And we'll take the skin off here in a minute. But you see how nice that is? So all I did was just go right down the back, follow the bones. If you can fillet a fish, you can fillet a deer, you can fillet a bird, a chicken, you can fillet anything, because all you're doing is following the natural bone structure of that particular item, whatever you're doing, okay? So we're gonna do the same thing here, come right down the middle. Now, if I were filleting a chicken or something of that nature, I would allow the meat to fall away from the bone, so I'm also using the weight of that product to help me take it off the bones. All right, there we go. Now we're going to flip him over. Same exact thing. Now you can tell that one side is the upside and one side is the downside by the color of the skin, how they swim where they sit on the bottom of the floor of the ocean or estuary, wherever you catch them. You have several different types of flounder. You have a summer flounder, a winter flounder, and a European flounder. And they're caught basically all over the East Coast and also in Europe. But so that's how you fillet a flounder. Now, if I were to use this for a stock, like a broth, to flavor my sauces or whatnot, what I would do is I would cut this in half or break it. There we go. Okay, because you see, that's where all the gelatin is going to come from. That's where the flavor is inside the bone structure. Okay, so I would save that. I'm not going to save it today because I'm not making a stock, but that's the fish. Oh, I forgot the most important part. Grits. So, grits take a long time to cook. These took 3 hours to be done. And how I made these was I took Cooper River Farms Applewood smoked bacon, which is absolutely delicious bacon, and cooked it. I had water. The recipe is on the website, right, Derek?
Yes, sir.
Water, half and half, butter. You can never have enough butter. I always add a little extra. And then you cook the bacon separately, and you chop the bacon up, okay? And you throw it all in there with the water and the butter, and if you want heavy cream, I use half and half just because it's lighter, because I add more butter. And then you cook it till it's done, and then you finish the grits, which these are Marsh Hen Mill grits, which are absolutely delicious, local, Edisto Beach, near Edisto Beach. And you cook them until they're done. These took about 3 hours. And then you finish it with a little bit of lemon, parsley, and salt. I made these last night, and I'm heating them up. What I did was I put a little bit of water in the bottom of the pan just to loosen them up a little bit so that they get nice and hot. And once they get hot, that liquid will reduce out. Okay, and the water also helps the grits not stick to the bottom of the pan. So I'm gonna wipe my cutting board off here. We are going to skin the flounder. Now you say, why are you wiping the cutting board off when you're going to put flounder right back on it? That's just because I like to use a clean surface. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna put a couple extra gloves on there. Now, while the grits are getting hot, and I'm gonna skin my flounder, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna heat up some brown butter. Now, what that brown butter is, this is just clarified butter. So clarifying butter, what you need to do is you need to get your pan hot, put your butter in, melt the butter, and then the milk solids separate from the butter. Okay, you skim those milk solids off. There's also some at the bottom. So you strain it, and you don't ever strain all of it, because you don't want the liquid at the bottom either. What that does is that brings up your burning point. So it won't burn. You're essentially just cooking with oil, butter, oil. Now, I browned this a little bit. You can tell that it has a slight color to it. Therefore, it has a nutty, here, smell that. It has a nutty aroma and a nutty flavor. You can pass it around. So that the dish itself, so the flounder will be sauteed in this. And saute means high heat, quick cook. It'll be sauteed in this, so therefore it'll give it a nutty flavor. And it'll go very nicely with these ingredients right here, which are plushed herbs. Now, what plush means is just picked. You just pick them. That's it, plush. It's just a fancy word. You can use that. What is he talking about, right? And these are fiends herbs. So what fiends herbs are a mixture of tarragon, parsley, chives, and chervil. And we have peppers, and we have Niçoise olives, thus flounder Niçoise, okay, or Kalamata olives. They're pitted, and fresh tomato, and of course, lemon. So what we're going to do is you got to keep stirring our grits. You got to keep stirring them, otherwise they will stick to the bottom. There we go. Yeah, they're getting nice and hot. Okay, so you can buy this. You can buy this in the store. It's called ghee. It's very expensive. So why not just make it yourself, right? So we're going to put a little bit of this in here and get that hot, that ghee or brown butter. Okay, now we're going to skin our flounder. Now you want to make sure you get rid of these little pin bones right here. And you can use the skin if you want. Skin is edible. Just make sure that your fish has been scaled, because scales they get in your teeth and they're very chewy. You can use it skin on, but I prefer for this dish to use it skin off. So what you do is you just start right like that, hold it, and if it doesn't break, it's a lot easier. So I'm going to do this bad boy this way. So I'm holding the fish down and just using the meat as a guideline. Okay. Let's see if this one works better. I'll get rid of those pin bones. Now, if I were to use the skin, what I would do is I would score it. And what that means, as a matter of fact, I'll just saute one up with the skin. Hold on one second. Got it. All right, we're going to turn that down. Those are nice and hot. Now, as you can tell, I added a little bit too much water to the bottom of that pan, so we're just going to let it cook out a little bit. I'm going to throw it in a bigger pan. So what I'm going to do, since I added just a touch too much water, we're going to put these in here. Now that I have more surface area, it'll reduce down quicker. So this piece we'll use it with the skin. Now, if you use it with the skin, you're going to want to present it skin side up. The reason being is that you want that skin nice and crispy. Now, if you serve it skin side down, then it's going to steam, and your skin is not going to be crispy. Okay, so I'm going to just score this lightly. And what this does is it will allow so if I weren't scoring it, the fish would curl up. This will allow it to stay flat. Again, you want to take off these little. This is inedible. Very tough. Make sure you don't have any bones in there. Not a very cooperative piece of fish, huh? There we go. There we go. Yeah, you see that? See how that's becoming thicker? There we go. Now we're cooking grits. Now you might be asking, or you might not be, why isn't that cutting board moving? Well, it's not moving. Now, if I were to with those bones, if I was making a stock or a broth, I'd use skin as well in that extra flavor. There we go. All right. So the reason why that cutting board didn't slip is because I have a moist towel underneath. Otherwise, it would be sliding all over the place. But with that, it stays right there. There we go. Always like to work in a clean environment with there's another phrase that you can use, mise en place. What do you think that is? Mise en place. French. Means everything in its place. Like this. This is my mise en place. Everything in its place for this particular dish. All right. So these are nice and hot. A little looser than I'd like for them to be, but that's okay though. Now when you're cooking, you always got to make sure you taste everything. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, so we're going to switch the burners here because that is going to be, there we go. There we go. All right, so Flounder niçoise. This is a dish that I created for the Fat Hen when I owned it. And Fat Hen was a low country French restaurant. Grits are very low country. So I wanted to add a French element, and thus the flounder niçoise with all these ingredients. It's a very French dish. Yeah, they're thickening up nicely. Hey! Thickening up nicely. Now, you always want to season everything, okay? So I'm going to season the flounder with a little bit of salt, but you got to take into consideration that we have very salty ingredients. We have capers and olives. So you don't want to over season it, but you do want to season it in order to bring out the fullest flavor. So let me get another glove. So we're gonna take our salt. And I never use iodized salt. It's very processed. And I know this is gonna sound kind of corny, but it's very salty. It's salt that tastes like salt, right? So I use only red box kosher salt. A lot less salty and more flavorful. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna season these guys lightly.
Where's that flounder source from, sir?
Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, good.
We're going to season both sides. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to saute. I got my brown butter nice and hot. We're going to see if, okay, see how that's sizzling? We're going to turn it up. That's exactly what you want. You want to hear it cook. There we go. It's kind of like pan frying. But saute means high heat, quick cook.
What are you looking for, Fred?
Looking for a little color on the bottom. I think pour a little bit of that off. Just poured a little bit of that brown butter off. All right. Let's see what we got here. There we go. All right. What do you think? Well, 1 out of 3 isn't bad.
I want it.
Let's see. Here we go. There we go. That's the color you want. These next ones will be a little bit browner. Now, when you cook, you always want to, especially with meat, you always want to make sure that you let your meat rest. So when you're cooking, all the molecules are bouncing all around, right? If you were to take a piece of meat, like a piece of beef, and you were to cook it, and then you were to cut it right away, all the juices would run out, all the blood would run out. But if you let it rest for a little bit, all those molecules stop bouncing around and they go back to where they were, and you slice it and it's nice and it's more flavorful. You have a lot better chance of something drying out if you cut it right away. All right. Now we're going to add a little bit more brown butter. Get that nice and hot. All right. We're going to sear them skin side down. No, I'm sorry, skin side up first. Because that's the side that we're going to present. There we go. Any questions? No? Pretty cut and dry. Remember, you want your fish to have no aroma when you buy it. No smell. All right, here we go. Well, 1 out of 3. There we go. Now, when you see that it has a little brown color, that's the caramelization of the sugars in that product, therefore bringing out more flavor. That's why you want color in whatever you cook. Like a roasted chicken, you want that skin to be nice and brown. A piece of beef, like when you grill it, you don't grill it so that it's gray, you grill it so that it has nice marks, right? That brings out the natural flavors. It caramelizes the natural sugars in that product. All right. A little bit more brown butter. Now we're going to cook the skin, the one that I did not skin. And I'll show you that it's scored so that it doesn't curl up on you. Again, we're going to cook it. Skin side down. That's actually as high as it can go. Yes. Now, if I were cooking in a restaurant, what I do is sear it on one side, flip it over, and just set the pan up top until I'm ready to pick it up, until I'm ready to plate the order. And then therefore it'll carry over cook. So carry over cooking means like if you cook a piece of beef, it keeps cooking, exactly. So you cook it to 145, it's going to go to 155.
Is there any other time with the grits, like you said you put too much water, they were a little too loose? Is there ever any time that you would add like a flour, water, or like mixture to make it thicker?
I would never add flour because they're very, they absorb a lot of liquid. I have had to add liquid when they get too thick.
But it just boils out.
It just boils out. All right. We're going to crisp that skin up just a little bit. Take that out. Just a little bit more. And then we're going to make our sauce. You can see that that's gotten a lot thicker. Yeah, just from cooking out. All right. Now, we're going to make our sauce. So, a little bit of brown butter. A little bit more. We're going to put our grits on our plate.
His name is Reggie.
All right. We're going to add our, turn that off. Add our olives. Watch it. Capers. Tomatoes. We'll assemble our fish. Let's see here. Now, you see this liquid that we have, we're going to add that right back into our sauce because that's flavor. We don't want to lose any flavor. All right. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to add some lemon juice. Now, when you squeeze a lemon, when you get the juice, you want to press it down, roll it. That releases all the juice from inside the lemon. If you don't have a strainer, just use your hand. Squeeze it right in there. Now we're going to add our herbs. Again, these are plushed herbs or picked. Always taste. Add a little bit more lemon. Whenever you cook, you always want to use some acid, whether it's lemon juice, wine, vinegar, whatever, because what acids do is they cleanse your palate and allow you to taste more of the flavors, and they also bring out all the flavors in that dish that you're making. There you go. You see how that lemon juice helped that brown butter emulsify. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're just going to go like that. And there you have it. Flounder niçoise.
Can you take a picture of him with that? It's got to be landscape. Can you hold that up for us?
Sure. We good?
Yep.
Anybody? You want to try? There's a couple. You have here. Let me here. Got a couple of forks right here.
This looks wonderful and easy.
Very easy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
For those of y'all watching, you're not able to taste it, but we're going to have some taste testers here. We all know Fred. It's delicious. Thanks, Fred.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
It's delicious.
Lovely. So nice.
Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it.
Flounder niçoise.
I don't know what that is, but I'm not opposed to trying it.
So you said the ingredients and
There's
your website?
And you can also buy the cookbook. I've got a cookbook, Amazon. Fat Hen cookbook.
Thank you, guys.
It's only $14.
Price is right.
You can't afford not. Really good? Thumbs up?
Let's see here. That's that. Let's what's that?
You're everywhere on Facebook locally.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
That's cool.
All right, I think there's a good place to end this live stream. Thanks again to Fred. We're going to end this one. We'll be back in a few minutes when we reset. And we're doing sheep's head this time.
Sheep's head a la Veracruz style.
There we go. So we'll see y'all a little bit here.
There's a lot of guys that musicians use that. So it should be that should be a popular video.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.